High above the clouds, in the sealed cockpit of a commercial airliner carrying 160 souls, a veteran pilot who trusted only instruments and protocols heard a gentle voice that should not have been there. A woman's calm whisper urging him to climb immediately, defying every perfect reading on his panel. In the seconds that followed, a hidden danger no radar detected nearly ended everything. What he did next saved every life on board. And what he experienced in that moment shattered a lifetime of skepticism, revealing the tender, protective presence of the Virgin Mary guiding from beyond the visible sky. Before we continue, share in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. Let's see how far the miracles of the Virgin Mary have reached. And if you haven't yet joined our family, subscribe now, because here, each day, we witness the tender love and mighty power of the Mother of God. Andrew was 55, a man shaped by the unyielding discipline of the skies. Short, graying hair framed a face etched with the quiet intensity of someone who had flown through storms few could imagine. 15 years in the Air Force, missions in distant theaters he never discussed, decisions made at Mach speeds where hesitation meant disaster. Steady hands, calm voice, the kind of pilot who instilled confidence simply by speaking over the intercom. Passengers relaxed in their seats when they heard him, sensing the authority born of experience. Transitioning to commercial aviation felt natural. Flying remained his passion, the place where the world made sense. Yet military rigor never left him. Checklists executed with precision, protocols followed as if lives depended on it, because they did. Younger co-pilots sometimes teased his thoroughness. It's just a domestic hop, Captain, but Andrew never wavered. There was no just in aviation. Perfection was the only acceptable standard. In nearly 3 decades, no procedural error marred his record. Faith held no place in his worldview. He respected those who believed. His wife Karen attended Mass weekly, her gentle Catholicism a quiet light in their home. But for Andrew, the universe operated on physics, mathematics, training. God, angels, miracles belonged to storybooks or comfort for the uncertain. Karen had slipped a small silver medal of the Virgin Mary into his wallet years earlier upon his captain promotion. "To protect you," she said softly. Andrew smiled indulgently, tucking it behind his ID without protest. It remained there, forgotten amid licenses and cards, a harmless token for the woman he loved. That Thursday in October began routinely. Andrew rose at 4:30, black coffee, no sugar in the quiet kitchen, kissing Karen goodbye as she stirred. Flight bag in hand, he drove to Chicago O'Hare under a dawn sky streaked with rose. The route, Chicago to Dallas, 2 hours 40 minutes, 160 passengers, full crew, weather benign at both ends. Co-pilot Michael, 32 and competent, joined for pre-flight. Navigation charts reviewed, computers configured, instruments inspected. Clear skies most of the way, Michael noted. Andrew nodded. Routine by 7:15, boarding complete. At 7:48, takeoff smooth, climbing through scattered clouds into brilliant blue. Andrew commanded, voice steady over intercom welcoming passengers. Cabin service began. The flight unremarkable. Minor turbulence brushed off. Passengers relaxed. In aviation, where safety rests on layers of redundancy, radar, weather reports, ground control, such calm was welcome. Yet in Catholic tradition, the skies have long been Mary's domain. Our Lady of Loretto, patroness of aviators since 1920, invoked by pilots worldwide. Medals like Karen's are carried as quiet sacramentals, reminders of protection in peril. Andrew felt none of that consciously. The medal untouched in his wallet. Faith a distant concept, as descent toward Dallas began. Everything remained perfect. Altitude, speed, alignment. Then, inexplicably, warmth bloomed in the cockpit, gentle yet intense, accompanied by the unmistakable fragrance of roses filling the confined space. By mid-morning on that October Thursday, the commercial airliner cruised smoothly at 35,000 feet, the vast expanse of the American Midwest unfolding far below like a patchwork quilt under scattered clouds. Andrew sat in the left seat, hands steady on the controls, his calm presence the anchor of the cockpit. The flight from Chicago to Dallas progressed without incident. Cabin service complete, passengers settled into their routines, some sleeping, others reading or watching screens, the hum of engines a constant, reassuring backdrop. Co-pilot Michael monitored systems diligently, the two men exchanging occasional updates in the concise language of professionals who trusted each other implicitly. In commercial aviation, such flights represent the pinnacle of safety engineering. Redundant systems, rigorous training, constant communication with air traffic control. Routes like Chicago-Dallas, among the busiest domestic corridors, benefit from advanced weather radar and ground support, minimizing risks in a nation where millions fly daily. Andrew embodied this precision. Former Air Force pilot, missions in high-stakes environments shaping his unyielding adherence to protocol. Faith played no part. The skies operated on physics, aerodynamics, the infallible logic of instruments. Yet as descent toward Dallas began, with runway alignment confirmed and weather reports benign, an unnatural warmth enveloped the cockpit. Not the gradual rise from ventilation, but sudden, pervasive, as if sunlight poured directly into the sealed space despite the altitude. Andrew shifted, loosening his collar. "Michael, you feel that?" Heat spiking. Michael glanced at gauges. "Environmental controls normal." "You all right, Captain?" Andrew nodded, attributing it to fatigue perhaps, though the sensation intensified, comforting rather than oppressive. Then came the fragrance. Roses, fresh and vivid, blooming impossibly in the sterile air recirculated through HEPA filters. No source, no crew member's perfume strong enough, no passenger item breaching the flight deck. Andrew inhaled sharply. "Roses, you smell that?" Michael sniffed, puzzled. "Nothing. Coffee from earlier. That's it." Doubt flickered. Sensory anomaly? Yet the scent deepened, evocative of summer fields far from autumn skies, stirring faint childhood memories of his mother's garden rosary prayers that in Catholic devotion. The scent of roses frequently accompanies Marian presence, witnessed at Lipa in the Philippines or Heed in Germany, symbols of the mystical rose, bringing comfort in trial. Andrew, long distanced from such beliefs, pushed it aside, focusing on descent checklists. Then she spoke, a voice, gentle yet clear as crystal in his ear alone. "Climb now." Female, calm, maternal, resounding not through headset but within, urgent without alarm. Andrew's head snapped up. No one beside him. Michael oblivious, reviewing approach plates. "Climb," Andrew muttered. The command repeated. "Climb now." Instruments perfect, altitude, speed, alignment. No deviation needed. Heart racing, Andrew gripped controls. Logic screamed contradiction. Abort descent mid-approach risked protocol violation, ATC confusion, potential incident report. Yet the voice carried authority beyond manuals. Peace amid urgency. As if the speaker knew what screens concealed. In aviation lore, pilots occasionally report guardian angel, intuition saving flights. Catholic pilots invoke Our Lady of Loretto, aviation's patroness since 1920, her protection sought in perilous skies. That Andrew's hand moved almost of its own accord. Throttles forward, pitch up. "Going around," he announced firmly. Michael startled. "Captain? Everything's green, runway in sight." "Climb now," Andrew repeated, voice steady despite inner turmoil. Alarms chimed softly as the aircraft powered upward. Abandoning approach, ATC crackled immediately. "Flight 247, confirm go around?" "Reason?" Andrew responded calmly. "Unidentified hazard, climbing to 10,000. Confusion evident, but clearance granted." Passengers murmured over intercom. crew queried. Michael stared. What hazard? Nothing on radar. As they leveled, reports flooded. Ground control spotting a microburst tornado forming directly on the runway. Sudden, vicious downdraft undetectable until manifestation, capable of shearing aircraft apart on landing. Had they continued, disaster. 160 souls lost in seconds. Andrew stared ahead. The voices echo lingering, warmth and roses fading slowly. Not equipment, not instinct. Someone, had spoken from beyond the cockpit. 3 seconds, eternal in their wait, stretched before Andrew as the woman's gentle yet insistent voice echoed in the cockpit. Climb now. The instruments glowed reassuringly. Altitude stable, speed perfect, alignment flawless for final approach into Dallas. In commercial aviation, where procedures are sacrosanct, forged from decades of lessons and incidents like the 1977 Tenerife disaster or microburst crashes of the 1980s, deviating without clear cause risked scrutiny, potential grounding. Co-pilot Michael stared. Captain, everything's green. Runway in sight. No wind shear on radar. Andrew's hand trembled on the controls, logic warring with the inexplicable certainty in that maternal whisper. Passengers below relaxed, trays stowed, seatbelts fastened, 160 souls trusting the calm descent. Yet the warmth persisted, roses lingering faintly, her presence a peaceful command amid rising doubt. In Catholic tradition, Mary's warnings often come urgently yet calmly. To Bernadette at Lourdes foreseeing trials, or the Fatima children relaying pleas amid turmoil, guiding the faithful from unseen peril. Andrew, skeptic forged in military precision, felt reality fracture. Trust data honed over decades, or this voice defying every sensor. The internal storm raged. Career implications, Michael's confusion, ATC queries incoming. Yet refusal felt wrong, deeper than instinct, as if ignoring would court catastrophe. Hand moving almost independently, Andrew advanced throttles. Climb now, he announced firmly, pitch rising as engines roared. Alarms chimed softly, go around initiated. The aircraft surged upward, abandoning approach. Michael's voice sharpened. Captain, what hazard? Nothing showing. ATC crackled immediately. Flight 247, confirm go around? Reason? Andrew responded steadily. Unidentified threat, climbing to 10,000. Clearance granted amid evident puzzlement. Passengers murmured over intercom. Cabin crew queried urgently. The plane leveled, circling safely. Then reports flooded. Ground observers spotting a microburst tornado forming directly on the runway. Sudden vortex of downdraft and wind shear, undetectable until manifestation, capable of slamming aircraft into tarmac. Radar missed it, forecasts clear. Had they landed, disaster. Structural failure, lives lost in seconds. Diversion to alternate. Safe landing hours later. All 160 unharmed. In the cockpit's stunned silence. Michael turned. How did you know? Nothing on instruments. Andrew stared ahead. The voices echo fading with the rose scent. Not equipment. Not chance. Intervention. Gentle, precise. From the lady whose medal he carried unknowingly. The hours following the safe diversion and landing in an alternate airport unfolded in a blur of debriefings and quiet awe. The terminal at the secondary field filling with relieved passengers embracing loved ones who had rushed to meet them. News spread rapidly. A commercial flight narrowly escaping disaster due to an undetected microburst tornado. The captain's decisive go-around the only barrier between routine arrival and tragedy. Reporters gathered. Aviation authorities launched inquiries, but findings confirmed the inexplicable. No radar trace. No prior wind shear warnings. The vortex forming and dissipating in minutes. A phenomenon Texas weather sometimes birthed without mercy. Andrew completed reports with mechanical precision, voice steady as always. attributing the call to pilot intuition honed by experience. Co-pilot Michael supported silently, eyes conveying shared wonder without words. Passengers thanked him profusely, one mother clutching children, tears streaming. "You saved us." Andrew nodded, the weight settling deeper. Back home late, Karen waited anxiously, news alerts having reached her. Embracing him tightly, she whispered prayers of thanks. In their quiet kitchen, under soft light, Andrew finally spoke. The warmth, roses, her voice clear as crystal. "Climb now." Karen wept openly, recognizing instantly. "The medal, I knew she protected you." The small silver piece, tucked forgotten in his wallet for years, now gleamed as he held it. Our Lady's image, prayer etched fine. "She spoke to me," Andrew said, voice breaking for the first time. Not hallucination, not coincidence. Maternal care piercing his rational world. Sleep evaded him that night, the cockpit's peace replaying against the terror that might have been. In Catholic testimonies, such interventions often leave lasting marks. The skeptical transformed, as with Claude Newman receiving Mary's guidance in prison, or pilots crediting Our Lady of Loretto in crises. Andrew rose before dawn, medal in hand, whispering awkward thanks. First prayer in decades, raw but sincere. Days later, he confided in Michael over coffee, quiet hangar talk between partners. "That day, I heard her, the Virgin Mary." Michael listened, no mockery. "Whatever it was, Captain, it saved us all." Bond deepened, silence shared, change unfolded gradually. Andrew attended Mass with Karen, not every Sunday, but more, sitting in back pews absorbing incense and candlelight, ancient words stirring dormant embers. The medal moved from wallet to shirt pocket, close to heart. Faith, once irrelevant, now a quiet companion. Trust beyond instruments. 6 months on, another Chicago-Dallas route. Pre-flight ritual unchanged, yet Andrew paused, touching the medal. "Thank you," he murmured. Takeoff smooth, skies clear. Over intercom, his voice carried new warmth. Passengers sensing the calm of a man who knew protection deeper than protocols that I in quiet moments, Andrew reflected. A life of control nearly lost to unseen storm, saved by grace he once dismissed. The Virgin Mary, gentle guardian of travelers, had spoken once, enough to open a heart long closed. 1 year after that life-altering flight from Chicago to Dallas, Andrew found himself once again in the left seat of a commercial airliner on the very same route, the familiar skyline of the Windy City receding below as the aircraft climbed smoothly into a crisp autumn sky. The co-pilot was new, the crew different, the plane itself another in the fleet, yet the ritual remained sacred. Pre-flight checks meticulous, voice calm over intercom welcoming passengers. 160 souls entrusted to his care once more, the weight of responsibility now layered with profound gratitude. In his shirt pocket, close to his heart, rested the small silver medal Karen had given him years before. Our Lady's image, a quiet companion, no longer forgotten but cherished. Andrew had changed in ways subtle yet deep. Shifts ended with calls home more often, presence fuller when with Karen, listening to her day, sharing his own without the old barriers of silence. Mass became part of life, not every Sunday, but many, sitting beside her in the pews where incense rose like prayers, ancient words stirring something long dormant. He stumbled still over responses, felt awkward kneeling, but went willingly, for her smile, for the peace settling in his soul like calm after storm. That day, as the plane leveled at cruising altitude, Andrew's hand brushed the metal instinctively. "Thank you," he whispered inwardly. A habit now, gratitude for the voice heard when logic failed, for lives preserved, for a heart open to mystery. Passengers below remained unaware. Families traveling for holidays, business people heading to meetings, each life precious in ways the miracle had etched forever into him. In Catholic aviation tradition, Our Lady of Loreto, patroness of flyers since Pope Benedict XV 1920 declaration, watches over those in the skies, her protection invoked in medals and prayers by pilots worldwide. Andrew, once indifferent, now carried that quietly. Not proclamations, but private acknowledgement that some forces transcend instruments. Some warnings come scented with roses. Spring had turned to summer, summer to fall again. Seasons cycling as Andrew flew on, competence undimmed but enriched. The medal stayed close, a bridge to wonder. One night months later, alone in the living room with city lights twinkling beyond the window, Andrew held it openly, praying haltingly yet sincerely. Thanks for Karen's steadfast love, for second chances grasped, for the day heaven spoke clearly. No dramatic signs needed. Peace sufficed, the quiet certainty of presence. Faith, he learned, asks not blind leaps but open hands, trusting beyond proof, listening when voices whisper against the roar of engines. The Virgin Mary, gentle guardian, had reached into his ordered world, saving not just a flight, but awakening a soul to life's deeper currents. Before we finish, I invite you to join our prayer community dedicated to the Virgin Mary, a worldwide family sharing testimonies of her maternal care. If this story has touched your heart, click below to subscribe and become part of our chain of prayer. And if you've followed Andrew's journey to the end, please write in the comments, "Climb," the word that saved 160 lives that day in Dallas. Let us witness together how many souls have been reached by this testament to Mary's enduring miracles. Share this video with someone needing hope today. May Our Lady bless and protect you and your family always. Amen.